Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praised be Jesus Christ, and a most warm welcome to all of you joining us on this Wednesday morning here in Rome. From wherever you're joining us throughout the world, whatever time of the day. We're coming to you live from the library of the Apostolic Palace, and Pope Francis will shortly begin his weekly general audience address. Many of you joining us through various Vatican media channels, a warm welcome to you on behalf of Vatican Media. We're now beginning the general audience. It will begin with the sign of the cross and the liturgical greeting. So we dispose ourselves to welcome his words and to receive his blessing.
Nel nome del Padre, del Figlio e dello Spirito Santo. Pace sia con voi.
We will now begin to hear the reading from the book of Genesis, which is chosen for today's Catechesis, a continuation of the series on prayer.
Quello disse: Lasciami andare, perché è spuntata l'aurora. Giacobbe rispose: Non ti lascerò se non mi avrai benedetto. Gli domandò: Come ti chiami? Rispose: Giacobbe. Riprese: Non ti chiamerai più Giacobbe, ma Israele, perché hai combattuto con Dio e con gli uomini e hai vinto. Giacobbe allora gli chiese: Svelami il tuo nome. Gli rispose: Perché mi chiedi il nome? E qui lo benedisse. Parola di Dio.
The same reading will now be proclaimed in French. I'd like to continue welcoming all of you to this broadcast. Welcoming all of you joining us through the various Vatican media channels, the Vatican News web portal, the Vatican News Live Events app, or the Vatican News YouTube channel. To all of you joining us through Radio Maria, Papua New Guinea, and Luminous Radio, and all of the other radio stations making this broadcast possible. And those of you joining us through television, Catholic Faith Network, Shalom World TV, Salt and Light TV, EWTN, Catholic TV, and at Madarshan TV. And others are joining us through other digital platforms throughout the world. Welcome to this weekly audience with Pope Francis being broadcast live from the library of the Apostolic Palace.
A reading from the book of Genesis. Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. Then the man said, Let me go, for the day is breaking. But Jacob said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. And he said to him, What is your name? And he said, Jacob. Then he said, Your name shall no more be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven with God and with men, and have prevailed. Then Jacob asked him, Tell me, I pray, your name. But he said, Why is it that you ask my name? And then he blessed him. The word of the Lord.
Aus dem Buch Genesis. Als er allein zurückgeblieben war, rang mit ihm ein Mann, bis die Morgenröte aufstieg. Dieser sagte, Lass mich los, denn die Morgenröte ist aufgestiegen. Jakob entgegnete, Ich lasse dich nicht los, wenn du mich nicht segnest. Er fragte ihn, wie ist dein Name? Jakob, antwortete er. Er sagte, nicht mehr Jakob wird man dich nennen, sondern Israel, Gottesstreiter. Denn mit Gott und Menschen hast du gestritten und gesiegt. Nun fragte Jakob, nenne mir doch deinen Namen. Er entgegnete, was fragst du mich nach meinem Namen? Dann segnete er ihn dort. Wort des lebendigen Gottes.
Lectura del libro del Génesis. En aquel tiempo Jacob se quedó solo. Un hombre luchó con él hasta la aurora. El hombre le dijo, suéltame, que llega la aurora. Jacob respondió, no te soltaré hasta que me bendigas. Él le preguntó, ¿cómo te llamas? Contestó, Jacob. Le replicó, ya no te llamarás Jacob, sino Israel, porque has luchado con Dios y con los hombres y has vencido. Jacob, a su vez, preguntó, dime tu nombre. Respondió, ¿por qué me preguntas mi nombre? Y le bendijo. Palabra de Dios.
Leitura do livro do Gênesis. Jacó, tendo ficado só, alguém lutou com ele até ao romper da aurora. E disse-lhe, deixa-me partir, porque já rompe a aurora. Jacó respondeu, não te deixarei partir enquanto não me abençoares. Perguntou-lhe então, qual é o teu nome? Ao que ele respondeu, Jacó. E o outro continuou, o teu nome não será mais Jacó, mas Israel, porque combateste contra Deus e contra os homens e conseguiste resistir. Jacó interrogou-o dizendo, peço-te que me digas o teu nome. Por que me perguntas o meu nome? Respondeu ele, e então abençoou-o. Palavra do Senhor.
We've heard Italian, French, English, German, Spanish, Portuguese. We now hear Arabic, followed by Polish.
يعقوب وحده فصارعه رجل إلى طلوع الفجر وقال اصرفني لأنه قد طلع الفجر فقال يعقوب لا أصرفك أو تباركني فقال له ما اسمك فقال يعقوب قال له لا يكون اسمك يعقوب فيما بعد بل إسرائيل لأنك صارعت الله والناس فغلبت وسأله يعقوب قال عرفني اسمك فقال لما سؤالك عن اسمي فباركه هناك كلام الرب.
Czytanie z Księgi Rodzaju. Gdy zaś Jakub pozostał sam jeden, ktoś zmagał się z nim aż do wschodu jutrzenki. A wreszcie rzekł, puść mnie, bo już wschodzi zorza. Jakub powiedział, nie puszczę cię, dopóki mi nie pobłogosławisz. Wtedy tamten go zapytał, jakie masz imię? On zaś rzekł, Jakub. Powiedział, odtąd nie będziesz się zwał Jakub, lecz Izrael, bo walczyłeś z Bogiem i z ludźmi i zwyciężyłeś. Potem Jakub rzekł, powiedz mi, proszę, jakie jest Twe imię? Ale on odpowiedział, czemu pytasz mnie o imię? I pobłogosławił go na owym miejscu. Oto Słowo Boże.
And we now move into the catechesis portion of the audience. We'll hear the words prepared by Pope Francis. We're in a cycle on prayer.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buongiorno.
Dear brothers and sisters, good morning. Let us continue with our catechesis on the subject of prayer. The book of Genesis, through the occurrences of men and women of a far-off time, tells us stories that we can reflect on in our own lives. In the patriarchs cycle, we also find that of a man who shrewdly developed his best talent, Jacob. The biblical account tells us about the difficult relationship Jacob had with his brother Esau. Ever since childhood, there was a rivalry between them which was never overcome later on. Jacob is the second-born. They were twins. But through trickery, he manages to obtain the blessing and birthright of their father Isaac. It is only the first in a long series of ploys of which this unscrupulous man is capable. Even his name, Jacob, means like someone who doesn't move directly, a bit shrewd in how he behaves. Forced to flee far from his brother, he seems to succeed in every undertaking in his life. He's adept at business. He greatly enriches himself, becoming the owner of an enormous flock. With tenacity and patience, he manages to marry Laban's most beautiful daughter, with whom he truly is in love. Jacob, as we would say in modern times, is a self-made man. With his ingenuity, his shrewdness, he manages to obtain everything he wants. But he's missing something. He's missing a living relationship with his roots. And one day he hears the call of home, of his ancient homeland, where his brother Esau, with whom he has always had a terrible relationship, still lives. Jacob sets out, undertaking a long journey with a caravan of many people and animals until he reaches the final stage, the Jabbok stream. Here, the book of Genesis offers us a memorable page. It describes that the patriarch, after having all of his people and all the livestock, he had many, he had them cross the stream first, and he remains alone on the bank, still in a foreign land. And Jacob ponders, what awaits him the following day? What attitude will his brother Esau assume? After all, he had robbed him of his birthright. Jacob's mind is a whirlwind of thoughts. And as it is getting dark, suddenly a stranger grabs him and begins to wrestle with him. The Catechism explains, the spiritual tradition of the Church has retained the symbol of prayer as a battle of faith and as the triumph of perseverance.
Giacobbe lottò per tutta la notte, senza mai lasciare la presa del suo avversario. Alla fine,
Jacob wrestles the entire night, never letting go of his adversary. In the end, he is beaten His sciatic nerve is struck by his appointment, and thereafter he will walk with a limp for the rest of his life. That mysterious wrestler asks the patriarch for his name and tells him, "Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. You're not going to be that man who walks not directly. You're going to change your way of living. You will be called Israel, for you have striven with God and with men and have prevailed." Then Jacob also asks the other, "Tell me, I pray, your name." The other does not reveal it to him, but blesses him instead. Then Jacob understands he has encountered God face to face.
Una metafora della preghiera.
Wrestling with God is a metaphor for prayer. Other times, Jacob has shown himself able to dialogue with God, to sense him as a friendly and close presence.
A lungo e che lo vede quasi soccombere, il patriarca esce cambiato. Cambiare il nome, cambiare il modo di vivere e cambiare la personalità.
That night, through a lengthy struggle that nearly makes him succumb, the patriarch emerges changed. He's completely changed. For he is no longer master of the situation. His shrewdness doesn't serve him anymore. He's no longer a strategic or calculating man. God returns him to his truth as a mortal man who trembles and fears. While Jacob was fighting, he was afraid. For once, Jacob has only his frailty and powerlessness to present to God, and his sins too. And it is this Jacob who receives God's blessing, with which he limps into the promised land, vulnerable and wounded, but with a new heart. One time I heard something about an older man. He was good, but he was a sinner who had a lot of trust in God. And he used to say, "God will help me. He will not let me alone. I will get to paradise. I'll be limping, but I'll get there."
Era un uomo impermeabile alla grazia, refrattario alla misericordia. Non conosceva cosa fosse la misericordia.
First, he was a self-assured man. He trusted in his own shrewdness. He was a man impervious to grace, immune to mercy. He didn't know what mercy was. I'm able to do everything. He didn't need mercy, according to him. But God saved what had been lost. He made him understand that he was limited, that he was a sinner, that he needed mercy, and he saved him. We all have an appointment during the night with God, during the night of our lives, in the many nights of our lives. Dark times, times of sin, times when we're disoriented, that's when we have an appointment with God, always. He will surprise us at the moment we least expect, when we find ourselves truly alone that same night, struggling against the unknown. We will become aware that we are only poor men and women. Allow me to say that we're poor. It's difficult to translate that into English. I realize I am poor at the moment when I feel my poverty. But we need not fear at that moment, because God will give us a new name, which contains the meaning of our entire life. It will be a change of heart. And he will offer us the blessing reserved to those who have allowed themselves to be changed by him. This is a beautiful invitation to allow ourselves to be changed by God. He knows how to do it because he knows each one of us. Lord, you know me. Each one of us can say that, Lord, you know me. Change me. Thank you. And now we begin hearing the summary of the Catechesis in the various languages here. First, we hear the greeting of the French-speaking faithful.
À la fin de l'audience, nous réciterons le Notre Père en latin. Puis, le Saint-Père donnera la bénédiction apostolique. Il la donne spécialement aux enfants, aux personnes âgées, aux malades et aux personnes qui sont dans l'épreuve. Voici le résumé en français de la catéchèse que vient de prononcer Sa Sainteté le Pape François. Frères et sœurs, poursuivant notre catéchèse sur la prière, nous méditons aujourd'hui sur la figure de Jacob, dont la ruse était le meilleur atout. En fait, Jacob réussit à soustraire à son père Isaac la bénédiction et le droit d'aînesse destinés à son frère aîné Ésaü, avec qui il était en rivalité depuis l'enfance. Contraint de fuir loin de son frère, il semble réussir en tout grâce à son habileté dans les affaires. Un jour, sentant la nécessité de rentrer dans sa patrie, où vivait encore Ésaü, Jacob se met en route avec tous ses biens. Ici, le livre de la Genèse nous livre une page mémorable. Il s'agit du combat de Jacob avec Dieu. Seul, dans la nuit, Jacob pense à l'issue de la rencontre avec son frère, avec qui les rapports sont mauvais. Et là, un inconnu le saisit et une lutte s'engage. Cet inconnu lui donne un nom nouveau, Israël, et le bénit. Jacob comprend qu'il a rencontré Dieu face à face. Lutter avec Dieu est une métaphore de la prière. Cette nuit, à travers ce combat, le patriarche sort transformé. Il n'est plus l'homme stratège et calculateur. Il redécouvre son impuissance et sa fragilité. C'est dans sa vulnérabilité que Jacob reçoit la bénédiction de Dieu. Nous tous, nous avons un rendez-vous dans la nuit avec Dieu. En luttant contre l'inconnu, nous prenons conscience de notre pauvreté. C'est en ce moment que Dieu nous donne un nom nouveau qui contient le sens de toute notre vie et la bénédiction réservée à celui qui se laisse transformer. Et maintenant, le Saint-Père va saluer en italien les francophones.
Sono lieto di salutare i fedeli di lingua francese. Signore vi ricolmi del suo spirito di fortezza, in modo che possiate combattere la buona battaglia della fede ed essere trasformati in nuove creature. A tutti la mia benedizione.
And our Holy Father said, I am happy to greet the French-speaking faithful. May the Lord fill you with his spirit of fortitude in such a way that you might fight the good fight of faith and be transformed into new creatures. To all of you, my blessing.
Afin d'être transformés en des créatures nouvelles. À tous, ma bénédiction.
And we'll now hear the summary in English.
Most Holy Father, the English-speaking faithful joining us through the media wish to express to you their sentiments of respect and esteem, and to assure you of their prayers for your ministry as the successor of Peter. At the end of the audience, we will recite together the Our Father in Latin. The Holy Father will then impart his apostolic blessing, which he willingly extends to all children and young people, the elderly and the sick. The following is a summary of the Holy Father's words this morning. Dear brothers and sisters, in our continuing catechesis on prayer, we now consider the prayer of Jacob. At a certain point in his life, Jacob, always clever and self-assured, finds himself at a crossroads. Returning home, he must face his older brother Esau, whose blessing he had extracted from their father Isaac. One night, alone and fearing for his life, Jacob encounters the Lord in the guise of a mysterious stranger with whom he wrestles all night. The Church's spiritual tradition sees this fight with God as a metaphor for prayer. Prayer is not always easy. Often it demands of us a struggle with God and a recognition of our weakness and frailty before Him and His will. Yet it is precisely in that struggle and in our woundedness that we experience the healing power of grace and grow in faith. Let us pray for the gift always to be open to this encounter with God, to the conversion of our hearts, and to the many blessings the Lord wishes to pour upon us. The Holy Father will now greet the English-speaking faithful in Italian.
Saluto I fedeli di lingua inglese collegati attraverso I mezzi di comunicazione sociale. Invoco su di voi e sulle vostre famiglie la gioia e la pace del Signore. Dio vi benedica.
I greet the English-speaking faithful joining us through the media. Upon you and your families I invoke the joy and peace of the Lord. May God bless you.
And now the German faithful will greet the Holy Father through the interpreter here. And while this takes place, I'd like to read for you the paragraph from the Catechism of the Catholic Church that frames the catechesis for today's audience. The paragraph number is 2573, and it says, God renews his promise to Jacob, the ancestor of the 12 tribes of Israel. Before confronting his elder brother Esau, Jacob wrestles all night with a mysterious figure who refuses to reveal his name. But he blesses Jacob before leaving him at dawn. From this account, the spiritual tradition of the Church has retained the symbol of prayer as a battle of faith and as the triumph of perseverance.
Liebe Brüder und Schwestern, im Rahmen unserer Mittwochskatechesen über das Gebet betrachten wir heute eine Episode aus dem Alten Testament. Das Ringen des Patriarchen Jakob mit Gott bei seiner Rückkehr in das Land seiner Väter. Jakob war schlau und gerissen, ein Mann, dem alles gelang. Weil er sich das Erstgeburtsrecht erschlichen hatte, musste er vor seinem Bruder Esau fliehen. Doch im Ausland gelangte er zu Reichtum und Ansehen. Bei seiner Rückkehr kämpfte er des Nachts mit einem Unbekannten, der ihn schließlich segnete und ihm einen neuen Namen gab, Israel, Gottesstreiter. Jakob ging aus dem Kampf verändert hervor. Er hinkte und er war geläutert. Gott führte ihn zur Wahrheit des Sterblichen zurück, der seine Grenzen erkennt und Furcht vor dem Höheren empfindet. So trat Jakob in das gelobte Land ein, verletzlich und verwundet, aber mit einem neuen Herzen. Die geistliche Überlieferung der Kirche hat in dieser Geschichte, so sagt der Katechismus, ein Sinnbild des Gebets gesehen, insofern dieses ein Glaubenskampf und ein Sieg der Beharrlichkeit ist. Auch auf uns wartet eine nächtliche Begegnung mit dem Herrn. Er überrascht uns in einem Augenblick, in dem wir es nicht erwarten. Dann wird uns bewusst, dass wir bedürftige Menschen sind. Aber der Herr schenkt seinen Segen allen, die sich von ihm verändern lassen.
Rivolgo un cordiale saluto ai fratelli e delle sorelle di lingua tedesca. Non aspettiamo che gli altri cambino. Facciamo noi il primo passo per incontrarli e il Signore si renderà presente e ci farà testimoni della sua bontà. Dio è la nostra luce e la nostra salvezza.
I direct a cordial greeting to the brothers and sisters, the German-speaking brothers and sisters. Let's not wait for others to change. Let us make the first step toward meeting them, and the Lord will make himself present to us and will make us witnesses of his goodness. God is our light and our salvation.
Santo Padre, los fieles de lengua española que siguen esta catequesis a través de los medios de comunicación desean manifestarle cordialmente sus sentimientos de filial afecto que acompañan con fervientes oraciones por sus intenciones de pastor de toda la Iglesia.
We now hear the greeting of the Spanish-speaking faithful, after which Pope Francis himself will give the summary in Spanish.
De modo particular a los niños, a los ancianos, a los enfermos y a cuantos sufren.
Queridos hermanos y hermanas, seguimos la catequesis sobre la oración y lo hacemos con la historia del patriarca Jacob, un hombre que había hecho de la astucia su mejor arma. Estuvo enfrentado siempre con su hermano Esaú y consiguió con sutilezas la bendición de su padre que pertenecía al hermano, al primogénito. Fue esta la primera de una larga serie de argucias que harán de él un hombre rico que se hizo a sí mismo con tenacidad y paciencia. Pero un día sintió el deseo de volver a casa y se puso en camino. Al llegar a la última etapa de este viaje de regreso, hizo pasar a toda su familia y a su ganado el torrente que delimitaba las tierras de su hermano. Era de noche, estaba solo y un torbellino de pensamientos lo envolvía. En ese momento se produjo su encuentro con Dios, que es descrito como una lucha con un desconocido en medio de la oscuridad. Es símbolo del combate de la fe y de la victoria de la perseverancia. En esa pelea Jacob no se mostró como el hombre calculador, el fino estratega que había vencido a todos con su astucia. A pesar de su esfuerzo, aquel ser desconocido lo hirió en el muslo y lo dejó cojo, mostrándole así su verdadera condición de fragilidad y vulnerabilidad. Pero al mismo tiempo ese combate le manifestó la forma de luchar con Dios. A ese Jacob herido Dios lo bendijo y le dio un nombre nuevo. haciéndole entrar en su tierra con el corazón renovado. Quien antes era impermeable a la gracia y a la misericordia a causa de su presunción, Dios lo salvó de su extravío y lo miró con ternura. Saludo cordialmente a los fieles de
I
lengua
cordially
española
greet the Spanish-speaking faithful who are following this catechesis through the means of social communication.
Pidamos al Señor
Let us
que nos
ask
dé la
the Lord that He might
para
grant
dejarnos
us
sorprender
the
por su
strength
misericordia,
of allowing ourselves to
para
be
aceptar
surprised by
nuestra
His
fragilidad sin
mercy,
temor,
that we might accept our
sabiendo
fragility without being
que aunque
afraid,
sea de noche
knowing
y
that
estemos solos,
whether it is night
combatiendo
and
contra lo
we are alone and we
Dios
fight
puede
against
dar
the
sentido
unknown,
a toda nuestra vida y
God
regalarnos la bendición
can grant us, can give us meaning to our entire life, and will grant us the blessing that He reserves to those who allow themselves to be transformed by Him. May the Lord bless you. And we now hear the greeting and summary in Portuguese.
Santo Padre, em nome das pessoas de língua portuguesa, conectadas através dos meios de comunicação social, testemunho a vossa santidade, sentimentos de gratidão e afeto filial, e asseguro as nossas orações pelas vossas intenções de pastor da Igreja Universal. No fim, recitaremos o Pai Nosso em latim. E depois, o Santo Padre concederá a bênção apostólica a todos, com um pensamento especial às crianças, aos idosos, aos doentes e atribulados. Leio agora um resumo da catequese que o Papa Francisco acaba de propor. Através das vicissitudes de homens e mulheres de épocas distantes, o livro do Gênesis narra-nos histórias que podem ajudar-nos a compreender a nossa vida. Detemo-nos hoje na figura de Jacó, que recorria a artimanhas e astúcias para conseguir o que queria. Por isso, teve de deixar a terra prometida e passou 14 anos no exílio, longe do irmão Esaú. Entre os dois havia contas em aberto. Agora, regressa à casa paterna e antes de enfrentar o irmão, Jacó pensa no que lhe poderá acontecer. Que atitude tomará Esaú? Um turbilhão de pensamentos lhe acorda à mente. Entretanto, ao cair a noite, inesperadamente um desconhecido agarra Jacó e começa a lutar com ele. É um ser misterioso que se nega a revelar o seu nome, mas que abençoa Jacó antes de o deixar ao raiar da aurora. E Jacó compreende que esteve com Deus face a face. O Catecismo explica. A tradição espiritual da Igreja divisou nesta narrativa o símbolo da oração como combate da fé e vitória da perseverança. Com efeito, Jacó lutou durante toda a noite, sem largar o adversário. Por fim, Jacó é vencido pelo rival, que lhe atinge o nervo ciático, deixando-o a mancar para o resto da vida. Esta vez, Jacó não se sente senhor da situação. Deixou de ser o estratega astuto e calculador de antes. Nada mais tem a apresentar a Deus, senão a sua fragilidade e impotência. Mas este Jacó, que recebe a bênção de Deus, com a qual entra na terra prometida, ferido e frágil, mas com o coração novo. Antes era um homem fechado à misericórdia, refratário à graça. Mas Deus salvou o que estava perdido. Agora, o Santo Padre saúda em italiano os ouvintes de língua portuguesa.
Saluto gli ascoltatori di lingua portoghese. Alla vigilia della solennità del Santissimo Corpo e Sangue di Cristo, vi invito a guardare con fiducia il vostro futuro in Dio, portando il fuoco del suo amore nel mondo. Appena possibile, ritornate all'adorazione e alla comunione del corpo del Signore nella messa di precetto. E la grazia della Pasqua che fruttifica nell'Eucaristia e che rende feconda la nostra vita. Dio vi benedica.
And our Holy Father said, I greet the Portuguese faithful. In just a few days, we'll celebrate the solemnity of the body and blood of the Lord. I invite you to trustingly look toward the future in God, bearing the fire of His love to the world. As soon as possible, return to adoring and receiving the body of the Lord during the Holy Mass, in the Holy Mass. And the grace of Easter, it is the grace of Easter that is nourished in the Eucharist and that renders our lives fruitful. May God bless you. And now we hear the greeting and a summary in Arabic.
التعبير لكم عن مشاعر الاحترام والتقدير المفعم بامتنانهم البنوي. إنهم يؤكدون صلاتهم لقداستكم ولشخصكم ولخدمتكم كخليفة القديس بطرس. في نهاية هذه المقابلة سنصلي معا صلاة الأبانا باللغة اللاتينية، ثم سيمنح قداسة البابا فرانسيس البركة الرسولية لكم ولجميع أحبائكم أيضا، خاصة للأطفال وللمرضى ولجميع الأشخاص الذين يتألمون. ملخص التعليم المسيحي لقداسة البابا فرانسيس. تكلم قداسة البابا اليوم عن صراع يعقوب مع ملاك الله في إطار تعاليمه حول موضوع الصلاة. قال قداسته: كان يعقوب رجلا محنكا ناجحا في حياته وماهرا في عمله، تمكن بالحيلة من أخذ نعمة البكورية وبركة والده إسحاق. هو مثال الإنسان الذي يصنع نفسه بنفسه وبحنكته حقق ما أراد، لكنه أجبر على الفرار من أرضه بسبب خصومته مع أخيه عيسو، لكن الله دعاه ليعود إليها من جديد. وقبل أن يدخل الأرض فكر يعقوب فيما ينتظره وماذا سيكون موقف أخيه منه. وفجأة أمسك به رجل مجهول وبدأ يصارعه. كان يعقوب يصارع ملاك الله، ونحن اليوم نرى في هذا الصراع رمزا للصلاة. خرج يعقوب من صراعه مهزوما ولكن متغيرا، إذ لم يعد الرجل الماهر وصاحب الحيلة، لقد أعاده الله إلى حقيقته كإنسان قابل للموت يرتعد ويخاف. لم يكشف الله له عن اسمه، ولكنه باركه وبدله تبديلا. اختتم قداسة البابا تعاليمه مؤكدا أن الله سيفاجئنا يوما في لحظة لا نتوقعها كما فعل مع يعقوب، وعندئذ سندرك أمامه أننا فقراء وضعفاء. في تلك اللحظة يجب ألا نخاف، لأن الله سيعطينا اسما جديدا، اسما يكشف لنا عن معنى حياتنا كلها. إن نحن تركنا نعمة الله تبدلنا، فإن الله سيمنحنا بركته. والآن تحية البابا باللغة الإيطالية لأبناء الشرق الناطقين اللغة العربية.
Saluto i fedeli di lingua araba che seguono questa udienza attraverso i mezzi di comunicazione sociale. La lotta di Giacobbe con l'angelo di Dio è un'espressiva immagine di come aggrapparsi al Signore con fede nei momenti della prova. Il Signore dona la sua benedizione a chi crede e si aggrappa alla propria fede. Il Signore vi benedica tutti e vi protegga sempre da ogni male.
And our Holy Father said, I greet the Arabic-speaking faithful who are following this audience through the means of social communication. Jacob's fight with the angel of God is an expressive image of how to hold on to the Lord with faith in the moments of trial. The Lord grants His blessing to those who believe and who hold on to that faith. May the Lord bless all of you and protect you always from every evil.
ويحرسكم دائما من كل شر.
Ojcze Święty, wierni w Polsce i w innych krajach, łącząc się za pośrednictwem środków masowego przekazu, pragną złożyć Waszej świątobliwości najserdeczniejsze wyrazy czci i oddania oraz zapewnić o swej gorącej modlitwie we wszystkich intencjach związanych z apostolską posługą następcy Piotra. Na zakończenie odmówimy wspólnie modlitwę Ojcze Nasz po łacinie. Po jej zakończeniu Ojciec Święty udzieli wszystkim apostolskiego błogosławieństwa, obejmując nim szczególnie dzieci, osoby w podeszłym wieku i dotknięte cierpieniem. Streszczenie katechezy Ojca Świętego. Drodzy bracia i siostry, kontynuujemy naszą katechezę na temat modlitwy. Księga Rodzaju przedstawia nam historię patriarchy Jakuba, człowieka przebiegłego i na swój sposób podstępnego, który zdaje się w swoim życiu odnosić tylko sukcesy. On, powiedzielibyśmy nowoczesnym językiem, jest człowiekiem, który sam doszedł do wszystkiego. Pewnego dnia Jakub, wracając do swojej dawnej ojczyzny, zatrzymał się nad potokiem Jabbok. W tym miejscu, gdy zapadł zmrok, nagle ktoś obcy go pochwycił i walczył z nim przez całą noc. W końcu Jakub został pokonany, ugodzony przez swego przeciwnika w nerw kulszowy i od tej chwili zostanie kaleką na całe życie. Ten tajemniczy zapaśnik dał mu nowe imię i swoje błogosławieństwo. W tej walce Jakub zdał sobie sprawę, że spotkał samego Boga twarzą w twarz. Zmaganie z Bogiem jest metaforą modlitwy. Tej nocy ta długotrwała walka zmieniła Jakuba. Bóg objawił mu prawdę, że jest śmiertelny, kruchy i bezradny. To właśnie ten Jakub, kulejący i osłabiony, ale z nowym sercem otrzymuje od Boga błogosławieństwo. Wcześniej był człowiekiem pewnym siebie i nieprzenikalnym dla łaski, ale Bóg ocalił to, co było zagubione. Wszyscy możemy przeżyć taką duchową noc, podczas której, walcząc z nieznanym, doświadczymy własnej ułomności. W tym właśnie momencie Bóg da nam nowe imię i obdarzy nas swoim błogosławieństwem, zastrzeżonym dla tych, którzy pozwolili się Jemu przemienić. Obecnie Ojciec Święty pozdrowi wszystkich Polaków w języku włoskim.
Saluto cordialmente tutti i polacchi. Il mese di giugno dedicato al Sacratissimo Cuore di Gesù è particolarmente sentito tra di voi. Al Cuore Divino, colmo di pace e di amore, possiamo affidare tutte le inquietudini dei nostri cuori e il nostro amore imperfetto. Dal cuore trafitto del Salvatore sgorga per l'umanità intera la fonte di ogni consolazione e l'oceano della divina misericordia. Gesù, mite e umile di cuore, renda i nostri cuori simili al suo. Vi benedico di cuore.
I cordially greet all of the Polish-speaking faithful. This month of June, dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, is particularly dear to you. The Divine Heart, full of peace and love, can quiet all of our restlessness of our hearts and our imperfect love. It fills our imperfect love. From the pierced heart of the Savior flows for all of humanity the source of every consolation in the ocean of divine mercy. May Jesus, meek and humble of heart, make our hearts similar to His. I bless you from my heart.
Santo Padre, i fedeli di lingua italiana
And now the greeting in Italian.
comunicazione desiderano esprimerle sincera fedeltà e filiale gratitudine e pregano per tutte le intenzioni del suo universale ministero apostolico. A conclusione
And we're reminded that we will pray the Our Father together in Latin, and the Holy Father will grant us his apostolic blessing after that, especially to children, to the elderly, and to those who are suffering.
Venerdì prossimo, 12 giugno, si celebra la giornata mondiale contro lo sfruttamento del lavoro minorile.
This Friday, the 12th of June, is the World Day Against Child Labor, a reality that deprives boys and girls of their childhood and jeopardizes their integral development. Given the current health crisis in various countries, many children are forced into jobs that are inappropriate for their age, so as to help their own families who are in conditions of extreme poverty. Many cases are forms of slavery and confinement, resulting in physical and psychological suffering. All of us are responsible for this.
Faccio appello alle istituzioni affinché pongano in essere ogni sforzo.
I appeal that every effort be made on the part of institutions to protect minors by filling the economic and social gaps that underlie the distorted dynamic in which they are unfortunately involved. Children are the future of the human family. All of us are expected to promote their growth, health, and tranquility.
Saluto I fedeli di lingua italiana.
I greet the Italian-speaking faithful. Tomorrow is the solemnity of Corpus Christi, the body and blood of Christ. This year it is not possible to celebrate the Eucharist with public processions, but instead we can make our lives Eucharistic. The consecrated host contains the person of Christ. We are called to seek Him in the tabernacle in our churches, but also in the tabernacle of which are the least, the suffering, those who are alone and poor. Jesus Himself said this. I direct my thought to the elderly, to the young, to the sick, and to the newlyweds. I exhort everyone to find in the Eucharist that energy that is necessary to live the Christian life in difficult moments. I bless you from my heart.
Pater noster, qui es in
We
cielo,
pray the Our Father now.
sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et pane nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie. Sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, libera nos a malo. Domino vobiscum. Sit nomen Domini benedictum. Aiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini. benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus.
And this now concludes the weekly general audience held by Pope Francis. It's been broadcast live from here in the library of the Apostolic Palace. We invite you to join us once again on Sunday at 10 o'clock local time in Rome for the live broadcast of the celebration of the liturgy for the Feast of Corpus Christi, presided over by Pope Francis in St. Peter's Basilica with a small group of faithful present. As we heard, in some parts of the world, including in the Vatican, the solemnity is celebrated tomorrow, and in other places of the world it is celebrated on Sunday. Please visit the Vatican News web portal, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube accounts for coverage of today's general audience, as well as other Vatican and world news. I am Sister Bernadette, and it's been a pleasure providing the English language texts for today's audience. On behalf of Vatican Media, I'd like to thank all of the technicians who've made this broadcast possible, and to all of you for joining us. Have a wonderful day, and God bless you. Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praised be Jesus Christ.